Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be comparing a 2021 Lincoln Navigator to a 2021 Cadillac Escalade. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with this Navigator. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the comparison. Now, one thing I do want to mention before we get into all of this, the driving comparison will be a separate video from this. So if you're not subscribed, I'd recommend subscribing so that when I post that video, you guys can see it right away, because how these drive differently is going to be very important to determine which one you should go for. But anyways, let's go under the hoods. Starting over here with the Navigator, we have a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 that's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 450 horsepower and then 500 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 16 around town and then 20 on the highway. Coming over to the Escalade, we have a naturally aspirated 6.2-liter V8 that also goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 14 around town and then 19 on the highway, with power outputs being 420 horsepower and then 460 pound-feet of torque. Let's go over the front end of the Navigator and the Escalade. Starting over here with the Navigator, this one does have the monochromatic package, so the whole front grille has been blacked out. I love the Lincoln logo front and center. And then we've got these full LED lights here with the projector bulbs, parking sensors all along the front end of the Navigator. Notice how they've kind of rounded everything off from a design perspective, and then I do like the lines that go down the hood. Coming over here to the Escalade, things are a lot kind of boxier, a little bit more sharp with the design. Notice that the headlights themselves are a lot smaller, still get full LEDs, have the accent light that goes all the way down, parking sensors all along the front, and then this one has the chrome package. You can get a blacked out package on the Escalade. This particular one just doesn't have that package, but yeah, there is the front end of the Escalade, and there is the front end of the Navigator. Now, coming around the side here, we've got 22-inch wheels on both vehicles. The Navigator has 285mm tires. The Escalade has 275mm tires, so pretty similar setup overall. And then notice with the Navigator, you've got the blacked out wheels, and with the Escalade, you've got the chrome wheels. Again, to kind of contrast with the different design touches on both of them. This one has the chrome contrast. This one has, well, lack of contrast because everything's all blacked out on it. But notice you've got the Navigator badge right there. And then here's a quick look at the mirror, and you compare that to the Escalade mirror. And then we've got the chrome that goes down the side here of the Escalade, and then this Navigator actually also has a chrome strip that goes down the side. Now, the Escalade does have air suspension and MagneRide. That's something to definitely mention, but yeah, that's the Escalade side, and well, that's the side of the Navigator. Now let's pop into the back of both of the SUVs. We'll start over with the Escalade this time around. So notice that this one has a lighter colored interior, kind of to go with the overall lighter theme of this particular one. You've got the AKG sound system. You've got these plaques here on the back. And then if you click that down, you've got some storage space just underneath. You've got the automated seat folders, so this folds down the second row, and then this is for the third row to fold it down or to pick it back up. It's all automated. And then right next to it, you actually do get a full power outlet, but that is everything for the Escalade. Coming over here to the Navigator, notice that you still have the metallic plaques right here, and you've got all of the automated seat controls here in the back, just like with the Caddy. Storage space underneath, and yeah, that is the back of the Navigator. That's the back of the Escalade. Now let's go to the rest of the rear of both of the vehicles. Starting over here again with the Escalade, notice that you've got the gigantic LED lights that go up and down here on the back portion of the Escalade. Definitely a cool look and similar to the last generation of Escalade. You've got your 600 badge, you've got your Escalade badge, and you've got these squared off exhaust tips there on the bottom portion. Again, notice kind of a boxier design. And then coming over here to the Navigator, you've got the gigantic light bar there on the back with the Lincoln logo above, and then you've got all the parking sensors just down below, and then both of them have bezels covering the receiver hitches where you obviously can use those to tow. But yeah, again with the Navigator, more boxy here on the back end than on the front, but less boxy compared to the Escalade. But yeah, there's the back end of both of them. Well, now let's pop into the back of both of the vehicles, starting over here with the Escalade. Notice that you've got all of the gray leather here with the wood trim just down below. You've got the cloth trim and then the white leather. A couple speakers there for the sound system, and then some piano black trim. It says Escalade right there. We do have power steps. And then here are the seats in the back. So you've got the full perforated leather here. Seats are very soft to the touch. You do have the adjustments on the seats. We've got the screens back here for the Escalade. And then you do have the rear climate, which you can control. So for example, if I want to turn it on, you just have to press the little buttons right there, and then that'll turn it on or off. And then you press this. You've got some cup holders right there. And then we've got some extra charging areas just down below. And then we do have the third row, which will actually pop in at this point. Popping here into the Escalade, really easy to get in, pretty much just slide right across the seat. Plenty of room, and if you guys are wondering, it does have the screen on here. Pretty cool system with that screen. It's like kind of like a second infotainment system just for the rear passengers. But I'll squeeze back here into the third row. And now that I'm back here, you can very comfortably fit an adult back here. I fit fine. I'm 5'11". I still have good headroom. I've got good legroom, everything. You can see, boom. Yeah, everything's solid. But let's head over to the Navigator. Now here's the door panel in the back of the Navigator. So again, you've got a bunch of leather trim all over the door panel. You've got the wood trim right there, and then some speakers for the sound system. And then we have the piano black trim. Little plaque down below, power side steps. And then here are the seats in the back of the Navigator. So you've got the full leather seats here, really soft, really nice looking as well. Climate controls right down there. You've got an area where you can charge a bunch of devices with some extra storage space. And then we have the third row. Popping here into the Navigator to see how this is. Just as easy to get in. Good headroom and everything here. And then we'll pop back into the third row of the Navigator. Ooh. I mean, it feels pretty much the same. I feel like I have a little bit less headroom in here, but I mean, it's very minimal. You could still very comfortably fit adults here on the back of the Navigator. Here's a door panel on the front of the Navigator. So again, we've got all of the leather trim here. In this area, we're gonna rest your arm, more of that wood trim. You've got the door handle. Seat controls are actually all on the side of the seat, which is pretty neat. You do have massaging seats here with the Navigator. Got a couple more speakers for the sound system. Got all of our window controls right there. You do have the mirror adjustments and everything, and then this does have power folding mirrors. It says Lincoln right there. And then here are the front seats, which look pretty crazy in the Navigator. Look at all the different places you can adjust, and they really hold you in place well. And then here's the pedal layout just down below. Got our light control just up above. The steering wheel is automatically adjustable. The pedals are automatically adjustable. And there's one more look before we pop into the interior of the Navigator. Here's the steering wheel in the Navigator. So we've got soft touch leather around the whole steering wheel with black stitching on the center portion. You've got our voice command buttons right there. You've got your phone control, music control buttons. And then you've got our cruise control on the other side with your volume controls. And then notice you've got paddle shifters there on the back. Got the little stalk there for the turn signal. And then we've got our windshield wiper stalk on the other side. And then here is our full kind of digital gauge cluster right here. Sorry about the glare. It's just kind of that time of day. We do have some different drive modes we can go through. So you've got your normal 4x4 auto, slippery, deep snow conditions, and on the other side we've got our conserve and excite. I love the animation for excite, and when you do go into the different drive modes, it does slightly change kind of the look of the gauge cluster and the information that it actually shows you. Other than that, with the whole digital readout, it's got normal vehicle information on it, so you can see information on stuff in the infotainment system with the music on the car, all that kind of stuff. Just looks nice. And then speaking of infotainment system, here is the infotainment system itself. And if we pop it into reverse, here's the camera system with the Navigator. So you've got the full backup camera with the bird's eye view. And then notice you can go to the view at the back, and then you can do that other view like that as well. If we put it into park, we've got a camera button we can press, and that'll give us a view out of the front, and then you press again and it'll turn it off. As for the infotainment system, response time on the infotainment system is really good. It's easy to use. Notice you've got the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto that you can use with this infotainment system. We've got ambient lighting, and like I said, with the seats, they do have the massage function with it. They are heated and cooled, kind of an expectation for a luxury vehicle. And then you've got a bunch of different colors with the ambient lighting right there. Down below here, we've got the little camera button right there, hazard lights, we've got some vents, and then we do have our gear selector right here with the Navigator. That is for your trailer backup system, trailer brake controls, analog controls for the infotainment system, and then for the climate controls, and for the heated and ventilated seats. Wireless phone chargers under that one. Got some cup holders under that. This is the drive mode select, and notice you've got that for the auto stop start. the parking sensors. That's your parallel and perpendicular parking assistance, your auto hold, your parking brake, and then we do have a pretty normal center console here with the double armrest situation. Notice we've got leather on the dash, wood trim there on the center part where it's pretty hard to see. Hopefully that'll pick up on camera. And then more leather down below, and then got a pretty normal glove box right there lined with felt, and then I like the chrome trim that kind of goes around the interior. And then finishing things here at the top, we have a full panoramic sunroof here, sunglass holder, universal garage door openers, and then the controls for the sunroof are just right there at the top. And then we do have a traditional mirror and then all black headliner. Let's head to the Escalade. Now here's the front door panel here in the Escalade. Notice again, you've got the same door panels you have in the rear with the gray leather, the wood trim, white cloth, white leather. And then notice over here, we've got some controls for the memory seats, window controls, again, power folding mirrors, heated and cooled seat controls here on the side. But notice the adjustments for the seats are on the side. That's the massage function to turn that on. And then we've got the speakers here on the top of the seats. Again, full leather all the way down, really soft to the touch. And then here is the pedal layout at the bottom. We've got our trailer brake controls right here with your parking brake. We've got our drive line select in that center portion. So you've got your two-wheel high, your auto, four-wheel high. That's kind of like an off-road type mode. And then you have your driving modes. You've got the air suspension to raise and lower it. Or actually, I did opposite, lower it and raise it. Anyways, steering wheel is automatically adjustable, and there's one more look before we pop in. Now let's go over things here on the Escalade. So first off, we've got a leather wrap steering wheel in the gray leather with the airbag cover also wrapped in leather. You've got your phone controls over here with your volume controls. This is for the cruise control on the other side, your heated steering wheel button right there, and then you've got your little voice command controls just down below. Again, paddles there on the back of the steering wheel. Got your stock there for the turn signal and lights, and then windshield wiper stock on the other side. And then you do have the full kind of digital gauge cluster. You can change this to a couple different screens. And since we're not at my house this time, I can show you guys the map view. So for example, you can make it be a giant map if you want, for example. The way that I've been leaving it though is just the AR camera. I think that looks the best if you ask me. And if you're wondering how you change that, it's this touchscreen here on the side that you press the different modes and it'll actually change it into those. And so yes, this is actually a touchscreen. Pretty neat little thing right there. But aside from that, we do have some different drive modes that we can go into with the Escalade. Remember, there's that button there on the side. So if I press that, we've got our Tour, Sport, off-road, and then our tow haul mode, and then you've got the air suspension, which again you can raise and lower. We've got the three different modes. We've got the normal ground clearance, increased ground clearance, and then we can go down to the entry exit mode. I'll just leave it in the normal ground clearance. And then here is the infotainment system with the Escalade. So first off, we'll pop it into reverse. You can see the camera aspect of it. So you've got a bunch of different viewpoints. You've got the bird's eye view right there. You can go wide angle if you want. You can even go overhead. And then we have this kind of 360-degree diagram, which is pretty cool. Notice we've got the Navigator right next to us that we can actually see with the camera view. If we actually go over the other camera, I wonder if it'll look a little bit more normal. It's so close to us that it'll kind of look a little bit weird. It kind of... I mean, it looks funny, right? It's like gigantic, but yeah, you can see the Navigator right next to us. But that's everything for the camera system. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, just like in the Navigator, it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It also has Alexa, and again, just like the Navigator, you've got really good response time. I'm just not clicking on it. My fingers are kind of sweaty. Sorry about that. It's hot, guys, okay? I'm doing my best. But yeah, really good infotainment system. I love the look of it. It's really easy to use. And notice how this screen's all connected. And that's why that's a touchscreen, and then this one's not a touchscreen, and that's why it's its like own separate screen. Anyways, climate controls just down below. Again, just like in the Navigator, you've got the rear climate with the 2 climate zones up front. And then here is our shifter. And then in front of the shifter, you have an auto hold, auto stop start, lane departure. And we've got some analog controls for the infotainment system itself. Storage space in here with the wood that covers all of it. And then we have the center console, which says Escalade on it. And then lifting it up, it actually does double as a little refrigerator, which, oh man, I wish I was there right now. With how hot it is today, oh, that feels good. Anyways, wireless phone charger is right in front of it. And then notice here we've got tons of wood trim. Look at the leather on the dash, and then kind of the whole design there on the dash definitely looks really nice. And then glove box lined with felt, pretty normal setup. And then the vents all connected, looks pretty cool. And then popping up top, we've got the camera mirror system here with the Escalade. Suede headliner, panoramic sunroof, just like over in the Navigator. We've got the controls up here for the sunroof, and then universal garage door openers and that's all for the top. Now let's quickly go over pricing. So the Navigator stickers for about $97,000 with all the options it has, and then the Escalade stickers for about $110,000 with all of the options that it has. I want you all to let me know which one you would pick in the comment section below, whether it be the Navigator or the Escalade. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with the Navigator. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.